Hello and welcome into another edition of Trewvizon Radio. I am your host, Awesome Al Everett, along with my co-host, Ronald Hooch Macmillan.
How you doing, baby?
And we got a good show for you today. Our topic is, oh, say, can you see? And what we are talking about is how we, as blind and visually impaired people, are treated by the sighted community. And we got a guest here that's gonna talk with us about how things are in the sighted community with blind and visually impaired people. Mr. James, are you there?
All right there. How y'all doing this afternoon?
We doing good. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing pretty good up here.
Sir, now we are talking about how the sighted community treat blind and visually impaired people. And I know you probably have experienced that yourself, just like I have, and just like Hooch has.
Yes, I have. Do you want me to talk about some of it this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go. I remember one incident quite well. I think about a year ago, I went in to have outpatient surgery did, and this friend of mine took me. So he helped me did my paperwork and got everything did. And the lady gonna tell him, "Can you go in there and help him get undressed?" Now, I don't need nobody to help me take off, and put on my clothes. I think I'm quite capable of doing that.
Are you sure
myself.
you're capable?
So
sure
he gave that lady a look, and I gave her a look too. I said, "Ma'am, I'm capable of dressing myself and undressing myself." Now, I said, "You don't need sight to do that."
No, you don't. I mean, people, I don't know why they think that visually impaired or blind people cannot undress themselves. We cannot feed ourselves. We cannot do nothing for ourselves. I mean, it just ridiculous if you ask me. Do you have any other incidents?
Do they offer to go in the bathroom with you? I'm just curious.
No.
I mean, if you're going to take it to that level, you might as well, I'm going to shut up.
Do you have any other situations?
Okay, yeah. I could tell you what happened to some friends of mine, especially the ones that have kids. They might get up on themselves. Is that really his child? Did he do that? I said, yeah, he got kids. Just because he's blind or can't see, catfish make his nature ride just like it do yours.
Catfish, butterbean, black-eyed peas.
Hey, it don't take no sight to make a baby. Am I right or wrong? Can y'all
right.
agree with that?
You're right, man. It don't take no sight to make a baby. I had a similar situation like that when I was in college, and we were at the cafeteria, and we were talking, and then I said something, and then this girl said, "Oh, I didn't know you. I didn't know you think like that. I didn't know blind people could think like that." I say, "Hell, I'm blind. I'm not damn
Dead.
What's the word?
Dead.
Dead? Impotent. I'm not impotent."
It's oh man.
No, my.
But let me ask this question.
Yes,
this question. Do you think they think that our eyes control our mind rather than our mind, our brain controlling our sight? Do they think that's the other way around? Why do people?
I think they
feel
do.
Like that?
I think they do because that they, like when we are in school, in the public school system, they will put us in special ed classes because we can't see. Now that is wrong. That is dead wrong, man. You know that they think that just because you can see, you are smarter than, smarter.
I think on the I think it's 1314, Janet Jackson, when she says in complete darkness we're all the same. It's only our knowledge and wisdom that separates us. And at the end she says, don't let your mind deceive you. So it's not a sight thing.
It's 1814, but you
1814, yes, right.
You were close enough. But I mean, it's just strange how people can think just because I can't see something, I don't know anything. Now that's just crazy.
You're right. That is kind of crazy. And sometimes I wonder, people with other disabilities don't seem like they go through those challenges. It don't seem to me like people, talk to them as quite as bad. It just seems different with us.
They do talk louder, don't they?
Do you feel the same way on that?
I mean, yeah. The thing is, like you're saying, like someone who is deaf, that they will treat them a little better than they treat, me. Now, I guess because even though he or she may be deaf, they can see. So I guess that makes them smarter than I am. Just because I can't see it, I don't know it. And that's wrong. That's a bad stigmatism or whatever you want to call it.
It's kind of like being prejudiced against your own.
It is prejudice.
Yeah.
It is discrimination. I mean, it is just as worse if I was, around somebody white and they call me a nigger. It's the same thing. Discrimination.
Like I don't know.
It's the same thing. I mean, either way you slice the bread, you still gonna get crumbs. I mean, come on.
Even with a college degree, huh?
Even with a college degree, they still think I'm just as dumb as a rock. Come on now. People be saying, well, maybe you need to go back to school and get a master's. For what? For them to discriminate on me more? Because it's not going to change their point of view. Their point of view is, I am blind, I can't do anything.
Do you think that maybe sometimes it could be a personality flaw within the blind community?
Elaborate on that.
Sometimes it's not. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not the way. Sometimes how we are treated could be on our behavior. I don't think all the time it's a sight issue.
Well, now I have had some cases where some blind people haven't learned to accept their blindness as of yet, and they take it out on the whole world. Now that has been a case, with some cases, but as of for me and you and James, we don't take our situation, I mean our disability out on the world. We are who we are.
I think James has a situation when a woman thought he really couldn't see, and she kind of undressed a little bit. She was adjusting her situation.
What is he talking about, James? What is he referring to?
I'm trying to.
Yes, he remember that. Yes,
I'm trying to.
I remember that conversation. I didn't know you could see me. I didn't, So she thought you were. I don't know. People get legally blind confused with being blind. They don't know the difference.
Yeah. Let me elaborate on that a little bit too. Yeah. Because sometimes you have a friend. Like I got one of the guys that chauffeured me around. Now he just started chauffeuring me about maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month ago. And I go in a restaurant, he'll tell folks he blind. I told him to stop telling people that, because they're gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. They're gonna want to know why are you not using no cane? No cane. Why is he walking by himself?
Yeah.
Just tell them I don't see good, because you misleading people.
Right.
Or they hold up 3 fingers. Like, can you see how many fingers I got up or something like that?
Oh, yeah. They're going to give you the eye test like they're a doctor, right? They're going to test you with your vision acuity is.
Can you see this chart? What's the first letter? E. Hell, it's always the first letter.
and then you hold up the middle finger. How many fingers I got up? Or a finger. But that was a funny situation.
Can you see this finger right here? Yeah. But I mean, they treat us like
you're not a person.
Yeah, like they treat us like we are dumb. We are, that we don't know anything. And I have been, arguing with some people, and they'll say, "You don't know. You can't see." I said, "What the hell that got to do with it?" What the hell that got to do with it?
Well, let me ask you this: do you explain how you see? You know what I mean? Sometimes family could be the worst too, but do you, take them down that road about Braille and Braille and speak, all kind of different devices, or how we, do things. I don't read Braille, but I read large print. So.
Look, man, you just said something about family. Now you're right. They are the worst, because my family, don't nobody in my family know how to read Braille. They don't want to learn how. I asked them, did they want to learn? No, I don't need to know that. Well, yes, you do. Kind of, you do. Because I feel like you telling me if you don't want to learn about me, who I am as a blind individual, you don't care about me as a blind individual. Am I right or am I wrong? James, Hooch?
Me and Hooch had this conversation a little bit, but this how I feel on that. Okay, if you sighted, Braille is not a easy thing to learn, because I know I tried to do that, and by me having some sight, that is a hard something to learn Braille, because I can see, and I'm not gonna take the time to put the feeling in my fingers that I need to rub over those dots. So that's a hard thing to learn. If you got some sight, or either you just don't have to have it. Let me ask this question. That probably will answer. How many of us gonna learn something that we don't need? That's a question to you also have.
Well,
would you learn something if you know you're not gonna be using that much? Would you be willing to take the time to really learn it?
Well, the thing is that you were saying, learning Braille by, touching it. There are sighted people. When I was at school for the blind up there in Talladega, I had teachers who were sighted. They didn't read Braille by, touching it. They read it by seeing it, just like reading print. And I had a lady friend one time. I taught her how to read Braille just by looking at it, and she could read it just by looking at it. She didn't touch it. And I used to write her.
Okay.
I used to write her letters, and she used to read them.
Okay.
So
okay, but then my question on that is,
mm-hmm.
how many of them gonna want to take time to learn something that they very rarely gonna use? You know, people at the school, where they cite it or not, they got to know Braille because they got to teach it or they got to use it in some type of a form. But how many of them gonna learn that if they not hardly gonna be using it? That's my question.
Well, yeah, you're right. I guess it depends on what amount of let's say interest that they have in it. I mean, if you don't have any interest in it, and if you feel like you're not gonna use it, I mean, you're not going to. You're not gonna take that time to learn it because you feel it's, it's insignificant to you.
Yep. Yes.
But
see, let me say this real quick. I ain't mean to cut you off. Okay, now, our family, I'm going to take my family too, for instance. They can communicate with you and me. They can communicate with us pretty good. But think about if we was a deaf child, they would have to learn sign language then to communicate with them. They will be forced to do it. But with us, they can't communicate with us if they know Braille or not. It may not be in the Braille form that they should, but they can communicate with us.
Yes, they can, because we can hear, of course. We can hear them speaking to us. So that they don't have to use Braille to communicate to us because, see, we can hear. And that's the point that I was trying to get at when somebody was fussing with me and they tell me, well, you don't know. You can't see. Like, yeah, but I can hear. I can hear. I know what is what.
That's right.
I'm not blind to the fact, pardon the pun, I'm not blind to the fact.
I think it's just a matter of being educated, gotta let them know without getting upset because we're naturally educators if we like it or not. We gotta take them down that road, let them know about the National Federation of the Blind, send them to the website, let them, if they want to.
Right. See, yeah, it goes back to what a teacher said one time when I was in high school. He said, it's not a sin not to know, but it is a sin not to know where to find out what you need to know. So, just because that they don't know, I mean, don't make it look like just because you don't know about blindness or visual impairment, don't make it look like that I'm dumb because I am blind or visually impaired. I mean, I know you be trying to do that. You as a sighted person, I guess you be trying to do that to not make yourself look bad. But in return, you make us look bad.
I think they don't care about making us look bad as long as they look good.
That could be that could be the situation with some folks, but I believe that some people don't know that they are doing what they're doing, and I guess when you point it out to them that they see it, and then that they feel bad about it. Those who have a heart and those who have a conscience, I guess they do. But you got some, just like you said, that don't give a damn. So,
that's right.
So what do you do about that? How do you correct that situation? How do you speak to them and let them know that you are human and you are just as smart as they are.
We're smarter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in some cases. Because some people get offensive if you as a blind person try to tell them what they know because they can see. I mean that they really get offensive to that. James, have you ever ran into some people like that?
Yes. Matter of fact, one of the older guys that chauffeur me around, sometimes I have to get him told. Sometimes, I'd be nice about it, but then again, when I be done told and something and it still be a problem, I will have to get kind of loud with it. I try not to do that, but, I try to keep my cool. But what it is, sometimes I tell him something, then I reckon he still because I don't know what I'm talking about. But then when it comes down to it, what I told him was right. And see, and then I really get an attitude with him. Then I say, if you only had to listen to me, didn't I tell you that? And then, they'll try to go to another subject, but I bring them right back to it. I said, no, you ain't changed the subject. I said, didn't I tell you that?
See, they think
if it ain't that, one day we was in line at a store, and I had already told him something, and it was true. He had to hear it from somebody else, and when he did that, I said, didn't I just tell you that? Now they had to come back and tell you what I already told you.
Yeah, they want to hear from someone who is sighted, who can see, because they think that you don't know because you can't see, or you can't see it as well as they do. So and I guess they say out of sight, out of mind. So along those cases, if you out of sight, that means that you don't know how to think. That you don't know how to think and judge or whatever.
But you see with your mind. All your feelings come from your brain, really. Your heart, how you feel, all your emotions come from your brain. That's your computer. Yeah,
your sight really comes from inside.
The optic nerve is right there.
Right. It comes from inside. It comes from who you are. I mean, I have learned to see from the inside out. Have to, if you are totally blind like I am, you have to learn to see places, people, things. You had to vision it from your mind, from the inside out, so to speak. And see, some people don't understand that. How can you see? How do you know what blue looks like? What red or green looks like? Well, I could once see. And in my mind, I still have memories of what stuff looked like. So, that's how did I know. I mean, it's just, I just wish people would take more of a interest, sighted people would take more of an interest in getting to know people who are visually impaired, who are blind, getting to know them, and don't put them aside. I mean, women will not go with a blind man, some of them, because he's blind.
This is going to be good now.
Because, we can't see to do this. We can't see to do that. We can't see to drive and let them sit on the opposite side of the vehicle.
James, where you at? James, quiet.
Well, James know I'm telling the truth.
Speak on it, James. God damn, speak.
James know I'm telling the truth.
Hey, didn't you tell me, sister, you were kicking it?
Also, Have they told you that before? So you can't see, you couldn't see the drive, or you couldn't see.
Yes, yes, sir.
Well,
yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say you was kicking it with a sister, and some guy was trying to holler at her, and just strictly ignored you until you spoke up?
Yeah,
remember that? Yeah.
That happened as well.
Yeah.
You got some guys out there, that I was, with this lady. We were in the mall, and this guy just disrespected me. Just came up to her, talking about, "Hey, I would like to get to know you. You are a beautiful lady." And then I said, "Excuse me, don't you see I'm standing here?" So his ass was blind. Come on now.
Wait a minute. He just walked up, didn't ask no questions, just came.
Asked no questions at all, like I wasn't there, man.
No, that wasn't blind. It was just stupid. That was
like
stupid.
I wasn't there, and I was standing there right by the woman. It just, some folk is.
It
man,
might
please
take a little bit.
Let me ask you, what did the later friend say when that happened? What did she say?
Well, she didn't really have time to say anything, because when he was saying that, like I wasn't there, that's when I spoke up.
Oh, okay.
That's when I say,
let him know that the man was standing right there. You did the right thing.
Damn right, you're damn right. That's what I did, man. I said, don't you see I'm standing here? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know she was with you. Well, who the hell you think she was with? I'm standing there with her. He's a lie. He knew she was there with me. He just wanted to disrespect me because he knew I couldn't see.
Or your penis don't work.
Well, I don't have no problem with it.
Oh.
Well, anyway, we ain't here to talk about that. But I'm just saying, that's how they are so disrespectful. Disrespectful of me as a blind man being with
you
a
as
lady.
a man, period. Yeah,
right.
Cool.
Well,
yeah. Like you're not capable of pulling
like
out
I'm
a
not
pistol
capable
or something.
of taking care of my woman.
Yeah.
Because I'm blind, I can't see how to, make love to her.
Elaborate.
I can't see how to make her feel.
Go ahead.
Like a woman supposed to feel.
Come on.
But let me tell you this. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it.
Yeah.
Blind men are the best lovers. Blind and vision impaired, because we take our time.
And I normally would disagree with Brother Awesome Al, but I'm gonna be quiet because I agree with you.
We take our time to do what we're supposed to do. You're right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. In other words, baby, I feel for you.
We love our women with a slow hand.
That's right, a slow hand.
We're gonna have to call some of these women, Brother Awesome Al, and see what they got to say about all this.
I feel for you. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, seriously, hell, we are the best lovers. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Are we really?
Yeah. Ain't your woman gonna told you? Never mind.
Let's wrap this show up. Running out of time.
You want to wrap it up now? James, I thank you for being a part of the show today. I really do. I thank you for your insight and your wisdom on this subject, because a lot of folks don't know what they be doing when they do us injustice as a blind person or a visually impaired person. Now, see, let me say this before we end this show. A lot of people think visual impairment and blindness is the same thing. It's not. Because when people, like when Hooch say that he's visually impaired, all of a sudden they go straight to him being blind. He's not blind. You're not blind, James. I am.
No. Hey, let me say right there, when you tell them you visually impaired, that's when they start giving you that eye test.
Yeah. To see if you blind. That's what they do that crap for. But anyway, James, that's gonna wrap it up, brother. But I appreciate you being on the show, and you take
Thank
care.
y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. You take care and be good, and and don't be blind about the facts.
All right, I won't.
Peace. Thank you so much.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up for another edition of Trewvizon Radio. I have been your host, Awesome Al Eford, along with my co-host, Ronald Hooch Macmillan.
Okay, good. Love you. Peace.
Take care, everybody. We're out.